A few months ago, some of my Fox colleagues and I were sitting in one of our studios, and I asked everyone in the group if they could think of anything that isn't regulated by the federal government. Shoes, one of my colleagues suggested. No. The processing of leather is regulated by the feds. And, of course, the wages paid to those who manufacture, transport, and sell shoes are regulated by the feds. Water, another one of my colleagues suggested. Again, no. The feds regulate the content of water and the purity of water, and they regulate how much of it comes into your home by regulating the size of toilet bowls and the pressure at faucets and showers. Chairs, another one shouted at me. Again, the answer is the feds regulate chairs. In addition to regulating the salary of all those who make chairs, the feds have decreed that all swivel chairs have to have 5 legs. Did you know that? In New Jersey, many towns don't have enough money to pay their cops and teachers, but they're scrambling to come up with cash to change all of their street signs. Now, why, you might ask, would towns and cities change all their street signs in these money-tight days? Well, the feds hired a group of college professors to test whether it is easier to read a street sign where all the letters are in caps or where just the first letter of each word is in caps. This test was one of those infamous earmarks we've all heard so much about. After spending a few million of your tax dollars, the professors concluded that it was a close call, but most folks can see signs easier when only the first letter of each word is in caps. So the Federal Department of Transportation ordered every state, county, and municipality in America to change every street sign in America so that only the first letter of each word is in caps. And they ordered the state and local governments to pay for it themselves. This sounds more like the old Soviet Union than modern-day America. In modern-day America, the federal government is out of control. There is simply no authority in the Constitution for any of these regulations, from shoes to street signs. And yet, local and state leaders just accept all this and fall into line and do what the feds tell them to do. Where is the political courage needed to say to the feds, no? Well, there is still some political courage out there. Wisconsin Governor Scott Walker just told the president to get his own budget in order before coming to Wisconsin and criticizing them. Indiana Governor Mitch Daniels has said he will not sign any agreements with public sector labor unions without contributions to benefits from the workers themselves. And New Jersey Governor Chris Christie started all this by telling the teachers' unions that their lifetime jobs and their lifetime benefits at the state's expense are a thing of the past. I wish that members of Congress had this courage. Republicans in the Congress, with the exception of many of the Tea Party folks, seem to have forgotten why they were sent to Washington. They were sent there to shrink the government, not to do business as usual. This threat from the White House to shut down the executive branch of the government is fear-mongering by the White House, and the congressional Republicans should call out the president on it. The federal government collects over $200 billion a month. Surely the president can run his part of the government on that. If he can't, he shouldn't be the president. If he puts all that money in the bank because there isn't enough of it, instead of enforcing the laws the Congress has written, he should get another job. If congressional Republicans let him get away with this, they will be looking for work. Where does all of this lead us? It recalls for us that the culture in this country is that the government will take care of the people. It rejects the Jeffersonian approach that government is best, which governs least. It reminds us that the government, from the feds down, who don't like local street signs and can't deliver the mail, to the states, who give away your tax dollars in return for union votes, is out of control. The government thinks it can write any law, regulate any behavior, and tax any event, whether it is authorized by the Constitution, whether it assaults any of your freedoms, whether it takes away any of your property or not. The government recognizes no limits on the powers it exercises, except what the public will not let it get away with. So public opinion must shrink the government back into the confines of the Constitution. Freedom Watch monitors all this for you. We are your night watchmen. The government's job is not to take care of you, it is to preserve your freedom. When it does anything beyond that, you'll hear about it from us.